Yeah, that kind of ties into our previous conversation that we did have offline about, people putting out certain posts on social media trying to garner attention. And I mean, I kind of understand that they're trying to garner attention, but, to then, push a product or whatever, but, you're drawing the wrong type of attention from the wrong people.
100%, Matt. Proof's in the pudding. I'm a big, like, if you say you're going to do something, you do it. Similarly, I'll put it, the listeners will know a lot more about your story. It's like when you had Jan for his fight, yes, you're putting bits of his training up, but you weren't there glorifying what you were doing. You were very focused, and you could see every single time it was about him, the people that he was working with, where you were, the intensity they're working at. It wasn't a selfie with him saying how good you were. It was like, man, we're training hard, and it came off, and that wasn't by mistake. That was literally the self-fulfilling prophecy in relation to you were there to work hard. And you were mentioning people, like you said, when you're working with someone of that caliber, you're going to get people asking you questions and can I come and watch and can I come and help. Having the authenticity and the value system, like, fuck that, man, I'm not here to play games, I'm here to win. And that's something that is such a small part of our industry, is too many young coaches and too many people are focused about being famous rather than being fucking good. Because if you're fucking good, your proof and your results will show it. And then you charge more money, rather than you dancing around like a dickhead with your socks on your hands, talking to yourself. Like, what you doing, man? You like, it's just no. Sorry, that's a specific person. Apologise. Can't. It's tainted my soul, boss.
Yeah, it's difficult, man, because it's I mean, that's the world that we live in. I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent here, but it is a good conversation. It does carry on from what we're speaking about offline, and it's a fine line. You need to find that balance, because I can't just put out photos of me with Jan and not actually fucking put the hard yards in and do the training and focus and have a periodized plan that's going to get him results and allow him to peak at the right time and fucking deliver under the lights in front of a massive crowd, right? Like, if I'm having all those photos but I'm not delivering those results, it doesn't mean shit. But on the other side of the coin, like, if I'm delivering those results and I'm not showing anyone any of the work that's going into it, then, I'm doing myself a disservice as well. So I totally understand it, man. And it is about finding that balance. And that's what this podcast is about. And this is kind of everything that I'm doing, man. Like, I'm building kind of like a media medium where I am going to have the podcast, which is going to be these long form conversations, but then I've got my YouTube channel, which is, taking 10 to 15 minute sound bites of these conversations and having that on my YouTube channel so people can go for specific portions of the conversation. And then there's going to be, 3 to 5 minute IGTV videos that talk about a specific training program or training principles or progressive overload or something like that. And then there's going to be the flashy fucking Instagram 1 minute reel or 30-second reel or something that's going to be attention grabbing. So I'm kind of trying to cover all of the bases, but I'm also, for those listening as well, I'm also transcribing all of these podcast episodes so then I can start putting them together, rewording them, organizing them into ebooks. So all of these conversations that we've had around mental health and structuring your life and building these protocols and principles into your life and how to tweak them and adjust them to get the most out of them. Like, this is a fucking massive project, man, and this is what I'm working on over the next couple of months that I can have online. I mean, the end product is going to be essentially, people will wake up in the morning, they'll take their blood pressure, their waking heart rate, their heart rate variability, and then they follow the bouncing ball. If your HRV is here, this is what I want you to do in terms of training. This is what I want you to do in terms of nutrition. This is what I want you to do in terms of stress management. This is what I want you to do in terms of nightly routine. This is what I want you to do for journaling, blah, blah, blah. If your HRV is here, then it's going to follow a different bouncing ball, and it's going to be a really fucking comprehensive program, bro. But it's going to take me 12 to 18 months to build that out. I'm not going to be able to build that out and have that online in a couple of months. So what I'm going to do is just build out a skeleton, build out a training program, build out basic fundamentals of nutrition, mindset, habit formation, etc., and just have that as a skeleton online so people can get a taste of what I can provide, and then continue adding value, continue adding more content as we keep going through this process of talking to people like you. And that's the whole point of having guys on like you, right? Is like, I don't have all the fucking answers, but I know people in my network that is going to have a different eye. They're going to have a different perspective on different things that can then add tools to not only my toolbox, but, you know, the people that are listening, add tools to their toolbox. You know, I want to get great people on that, you know, I can then start pushing people towards. So once I have my website up and running, I'm going to have some of your shit on there. I'm going to have some of Lizzie's stuff on there. Luke Lehman from Muscle Nerds, you know, I've had him on a couple of times, and, you know, that's where we met on his foundations course in Singapore, man. He's a great dude, and a lot of my principles have come from his philosophies, you know, and I'm just tweaking and I'm building upon that. And all of the people that I've had on the podcast, man, I want to, you know, start sharing your content. If you have something that's really fucking good and relevant, guess what? I'm linking that to a podcast episode, or I'm linking that to one of my articles that I've written, or whatever it might be. So then I can start connecting my listeners, my followers, my audience to different people that I trust in the industry, because they trust me. And if they trust me, they know that they're going to trust my recommendations.